Hello DIYers, welcome back. We are trying a little bit of a different video today. This is something we haven't ever done before, but we are starting a tremendous overhaul of our essentially entire main floor tomorrow. And we wanted to take a moment to give you guys a thorough walkthrough of what the space looks like before, some of the challenges we're gonna have to overcome, and why we're making some of the decisions that we're making. So hopefully this will be fun for you guys to watch. Maybe if you're just nosy and curious and want to know what the house looks like. We're hoping we can tackle some pretty major issues we're running into to help out other people in the same boat as us. So we're just gonna take our time, walk through the space, show you guys what we have going on, and talk about some of the problem solving we've got coming up. So here we are in the main entrance of the house. So this house was built in 1993. And back in 1993, this little landing here was the only solid hardwood in the entire house. You can see into our formal living room. I guess that's what that is. I don't know. There's so many rooms in this house that I've never had before. So I believe this is called a formal living room or a sitting room. This is carpet. You can see right behind you in our room of shame. This is the formal dining room. This is the very last room on our list, which is why it looks such a mess, but this is also carpet. So you can see that we have carpet happening on either side. However, if we move this way through the main hallway, you can see that one of the previous owners actually carried, I believe the hardwoods originally went up to about here, and they finished the hardwoods out throughout the rest of the kitchen, which is very messy right now. But there's a couple things I want to show you. As far as we know, this was a professional installation, and that really gets on my nerves because we have a couple things going on in these floors. We have this right here. Oh, hello.
Aria.
Yes. Our dog is drinking water, so hold for dog. Okay, well. So as far as we know, the extension of these hardwood floors was done by a professional. Now, this is concerning to me for a few reasons. You can see multiple examples in these floor. One is right here. This is called an H joint. We've got another one right down here, also an H joint. Right next to the H joint is this little guy, which is called a step joint. Now, these H joints and step joints are not recommended for real hardwood installs. They cause weak points, they cause issues with the structure and the strength of the floor, and we have them all over. Now, these floors have been in here for many, many years, and they're perfectly fine. They're actually in fantastic shape. However, it's frustrating to know that something is supposed to be done a certain way, and further know that someone paid someone else money to do it the wrong way, which is why we've taken to just doing everything ourselves. The floors are in good shape, and I will say that a very, very thin, these are 2 1/4 inch wide planks, definitely an old school style, but you can be a little looser with this thin of a plank. They hold structure a lot easier than a wide plank, which is probably why they're still in great shape. Anywho, just had to go on that little tangent. So we are taking you now into the absolutely glorious family room, I guess. Family room, living room. So you can see we already have our hardwood floors here. The carpets were in this condition when we moved in. I will admit that this guy right here was me. That is
shame.
It's shameful.
Shame.
That is copy. But all of the other stains, and my favorite part, the ash and burned through carpet over here, we purchased this house in that condition. The fireplace has been a mystery being unraveled by the entire neighborhood via the Nextdoor app. As you can see, we have a gas valve in the floor. My favorite part of this is that the carpet covers up where it says on and off. So if you didn't know that was under there, like we didn't at first, you have no idea whether or not the gas is running in your house. So you would look at this and think, well, surely this is a gas fireplace. Or is it? If you look in here, you can actually see that the gas line was capped. And we have learned from all of our neighbors that there's a couple different popular fireplace options in here. We think that this was a gas starting, wood burning fireplace. However, when we moved in, this was completely full of ash and debris, and we were so confused because it had gas mechanics, but was obviously being used as wood burning, which you are not supposed to do if you have a gas fireplace. We still don't know exactly what the situation is here, but we opened the flue and hundreds of dead wasps rained down on me. So we are not touching this again until it is being inspected by a professional. However, we are renovating the mantle. Okay, so if you're still with me, here's the plan of attack. We are keeping all of the original hardwood floors. By our calculations, the entire main floor is roughly 1,200 square feet, and we needed about 800 square feet in materials. So more than 50% of the flooring on the main floor has real redwood oak hardwoods. We have to do something called feathering in or tying in, which a contractor will probably not do for you because it is basically cheaper these days for contractors to just completely rip up and demo the existing floorings, even if they're real hardwoods, and lay brand new real hardwoods throughout the entire house. It is very difficult to tie in. There's a lot more labor. There's a higher likelihood that you're going to have to sand and restain and refinish all of the floors if you don't find a good match. And overall, it's just not something you're likely to find. That is no shading at all to contractors, but anybody running a business has to have a return on investment. And for most working professionals, tying into existing hardwood floors is not really worth the money for the time that is going to take them. And let me explain to you why. So we know for a fact these are the original 1993 hardwood floors. They begin here and they moved backwards. Well, that means that the floors are running from the front of the house to the back of the house. With the amount of flooring we need to finish the rest of the house, it probably would have made more sense to start from the back of the house and run to the front of the house because you want to start with your longest exterior wall. That did not occur here. So we have two separate things going on. We have to pull up this transition and cut out a few different pieces of these floors. Basically, we're going to have to take a saw and cut these out perfectly, absolutely perfectly, and pull them out and then knock a new piece in. And that is with the floors running this direction. So we're going to start here and we're going to run the floors this way. Now let's go see the problem in the other room. So as you can see here, we have this floor that is cut on this very strange diagonal for roughly 80-85% of the floor. And now the huge bummer about that is we have to take up every single one of the final boards along this entire span and knock each new board back in through this entire part. Here, of course, it'll get a little easier because you don't have to do every single board. These are cut, flat and we should be able to reasonably just continue on with some, but not all of the boards. So this is going to be a ton of work. Now you can see that we have problem number 2. We have to start feathering in right here. And again, you can see that the floors are running from the front of the house to the back of the house. Well, what does that mean? That means that we have to make sure that the feathering in at the very, very front of the house lines up perfectly with this feathering in that happens many walls and rooms later. And if we somehow manage to get things knocked off even by 2 millimeters, by the time we reach where we have to feather this in, if the tiniest bit of slant is developed as we work our way this way, we will get to this point and our entire lay will be completely ruined. We will have wasted $1,000 in materials, so much of our lives. It's going to be really dark. So how do we solve that problem? We've done a ton of research. We have laid floors in 3 other properties besides this one, but it has always been full replacements. It has never been anything like this where we're tying in. So we are solving this problem with this material here. This is what we believe is called wood spline. Could be spleen. I honestly don't know. Don't at me. What we can do with this is we can start here where we are feathering in and run the rest of this half of the room perfectly with no errors. This product is inserted into the groove, and basically what it does is it reverses which direction has the tongue. So this piece will become a double-tongued piece. This will be inserted here, and we will continue to lay the floors this way. This piece will be inserted here, and we are going to reverse the directionality of the way the floor is laying, and from here on, the floors will be laid this way. And what we are hoping is that if we lay the floors from each area that it is feathering and run them in the proper direction from front to back, reverse the directionality in the 2 locations that we need to do so, we will have this room running towards this room, and the floors here will be running from the front of the house to the back of the house. And if we encounter any slants, any little tiny changes in a super straight lay along the way, it will meet here in our French doorway where the problem can be solved with the transition piece. So we have been researching how to tackle this. I'm not exaggerating when I say I think months at this point. And, you know, YouTube can pretty much teach you how to do anything. We hope to teach you guys some things, but we have not seen anyone tackle this situation fully. Disclaimer, this is 100% our brainstorming and our solution, and something that we hope will allow the least amount of room for error as we finish out the rest of the main floor with solid oak hardwoods. So the first order of business is taking up all of these old carpets. We will start that tomorrow. We don't presently know if they are stapled, if they are glued. Each of those options presents their own set of problems and will be absolutely terrible either way. So we are creating a different shape for the fireplace surround, and we are going to have to replace this, what I think is fake marble, but I don't know for sure. It seems like it's fake. We are going to have to create our new structure with plywood and cement backer board at the same time that we are laying the floors. So you're going to see a little bit of both happening. I hope this was interesting to you guys. You know, we've kind of never really done a video where we're just walking around the property, showing you guys the plans that we have, showing you the original state that it's in. But, you know, we thought we would
Do that.
Do that. If nothing else, if you're just, if you're curious what things look like, this is the reality of kind of how you have to tackle some of these at-home DIY projects. And it's a lot of work. We have been sorting out the logistics of how to tackle this new and unique project for a long time. And we're really excited to get started. And we hope that you guys will follow along on that journey as well. So there you have it. There's a little look into our house, a little history lesson on the house. We truly hope this was interesting to you. If not, then you certainly didn't have to watch it, but we are grateful that you did. Be sure to like this video. If you did in fact like the content, subscribe to see all future content, and we will see you next time.